You know, this is something I keep bringing up on my channel, but one reason I enjoy coming into the city compared to the suburbs where I live is there's no shortage of cute little coffee shops that are around here. You live around my neck of the woods, you technically got to drive everywhere you need to go, unless you live in a very central part of town where all the shops are. And most of the time those coffee shops are going to be at Tim Hortons, Starbucks, or heaven forbid you got to support McDonald's, because you already know my feeling about that. And while I do enjoy those from time to time, especially good Tim's, the reality is I enjoy having a nice allongé when I'm at a cute little coffee shop. That's what makes me call myself the Wandering Ukie. And on that note, welcome to another edition of the Wandering Ukie Cheese Café. So right now I'm coming to you from the Plateau, Montreal on Laurier Avenue East, and I'm right in front of a place that's called Noble Café. I remember I saw some friends that posted about this online, and I thought, let's give it a shot, see what the vibe is. It's one of those things where you're going to go inside to order, and then they serve you right out here, so it's kind of a tiny, quaint, cozy place, but I do enjoy it. It's pretty nice and easy to get to. It's one of the beauties about being in the city is everything, like I keep saying, is walkable. And I am recording this on October 14th, which is, from what I saw, is supposed to be one of the last warm weekends of the month. Typically, you do get some Indian summer, like in the beginning of October. I know that a week and a half ago, I did encounter some warmth, perfect enough to be outdoors barbecuing with a brew and minimal clothing. And yet here I am with the fedora and the trench coat once more. You know, such is life. It happens from time to time. So I'm going to be taking advantage, because I did remember seeing too online that the terraces around Montreal are, well, a lot of the bars are saying that this is going to be the last weekend of terraces before they take them down. So we'll wait and see where I hit up. I could go to Rosemount, I could go to Villeray, we'll see. But before we do continue the wander, I have one more suggestion. Click that subscribe button below, put your notification bell on. That way, if there's a new video that comes up, you'll get a pop-up on your phone. Oh, and also, like this video and give a thumbs up, because the more likes I get, the more this video is promoted all across YouTube.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. On Broadway. They say there's always magic.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to make a turn over here. Saint-Hubert Street, one of the major streets that's around Montreal, and also one I've covered a number of times because of some pretty neat bars I visited. So if you want a little recap, I'm going to put a link on the top right corner where I did some trips like within... Oh yes, that was a visit to Plaza Saint-Hubert before I hit a Beaufort Bistro, awesome beef tartare, and an awesome rare glass of wine featured on the channel. So, Saint-Hubert Street. I guess I kind of thought about it because it is my hometown after all, so I guess I'm kind of drawn to that. But there are some neat things around the plaza that I've seen. Some places I haven't really known about back when I was living with my parents and then visiting my grandmother, but I feel like it's changed a lot over the years. But funny thing is that if I was to look at old videos, like old pictures, like shown on some Facebook groups that talk about Montreal then and now, it seemed like Saint-Hubert Street was a huge, bustling street back then, so I kind of wish I was around to be able to see its heyday. Oh well, at least I have some photographs I could work with.
I'll catch a Greyhound bus for home, they all say. But oh, they did wrong, I know they are.
Okay, I just passed by St. Gregoire Street, which for most people probably wouldn't mean a thing compared to all the other major streets, but I know if I was to continue to the right, then I would eventually get to the Belle Gueule beer garden that I once visited back when I did my Larry's episode. But I'm not going to put a card on that because I realized that my last episode I already put a card. So I'm going to give another idea that if I was to go further eastward, I could hit Masson Street eventually. And that's where I had some really nice drinks over at La Succursale. And yeah, actually that beef tartare that had the popcorn on it. So if you want, click the link on the top right corner for that one, and you'll be able to revisit it once again. Good times indeed.
And I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway.
I keep pointing this out, but it's always amazing, and you walk some areas and you can see some of the old style stacked housing and then some newer condo buildings that have been put into place over the last few decades. So it's kind of a contrast in architecture when you really see it. Personally, I like the old style. It's a bit more intricate and it feels like it has a lot more personality. The newer stuff, it's too clean, too polished, too much glass. But that's just me and my personal opinion. Anyways, I'm probably going to be approaching Rosemount Boulevard soon, so I'm probably going to need to find a place for a drink. I had to make a return to one of the places I've shown off within the last year. It's Le Vestiaire, which is French for the locker, if I'm not mistaken. And one thing I was looking at was on the side of one of the walls. It looks like it's an old sign from the Montreal subway system. I would say it's dating from around 1993 based on the characters, the design, and one of the projected railroads that never happened. And it feels funny because I passed by one of the stations today and it said that October 14th, 1966 is the day that the Montreal subway system had first opened up. So today's October 14th as I'm recording it, which means that it's going to be 57 years since it opened. Hard to believe it's been running for that long. But something else I enjoyed about this place is the selection of beers, but also the decor. Take note about all the wood that you find on the wall. It's like someone cut it up and made a little makeshift paneling, which I really like. But also the counter, it looks like it's the same round pieces of wood covered with a mass amount of epoxy and probably some other random objects inside. I have a buddy who's a very big DIYer, likes to make these stuff himself too, so he would probably get a kick out of it if ever we get a chance to come back here again. Oh yeah, important stuff. I'm going for my usual New England IPA. It's from the brewer that's called Le Prospecteur, and the name of it is Tête de Pioche. I brought a friend over here because since she lives pretty close and like within Villeray, it was an easy way to kind of explore some of my regular parts of Rosemont, but she kind of explained to me the meaning of this. Tête de Pioche is apparently a French word term for dickhead, which I didn't even realize. Like, I'm ordering a dickhead. And funny enough, there's also a double New England IPA that exists of this one, so it's almost like double dickhead. That feels like a very William Shatner kind of insult. You know, if you watch Star Trek 4, where they're traveling back in time to the 20th century to save some humpback whales, you can look it up if you want to know the whole story for that. Across the street, car almost hits them, says, "Watch where you're going, dumbass." And what does Captain Kirk say? Well, double dumbass on you. Yep. It doesn't get any sillier than that. So, cheers to me being a dickhead. Julie, did you hack my channel? That's not funny.
On a blanket with my baby's where I'll be.
Yeah, already starting to get kind of dark now, and it's not even 5 p.m. or just slightly after 5 p.m. I'm telling you, had this been 2 months ago, it would still be bright and I wouldn't have to worry about the sunset just yet. But you know what? That was a really good brew. And one thing I forgot to mention is that I did enjoy the mac and cheese here once because, and it was also unique for this reason, is that instead of having a whole layer of other cheeses, they use poutine cheese, like cheddar cheese curds with a bechamel sauce, so it does give it a little bit of a unique taste. But I didn't want to eat over there because I wanted to do something else, and luckily I'm across the street from another great spot that I do want to check out.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Oh, woman,
Well, I was kind of lucky enough that there was a really good spot that I wanted to show off on the channel that was right across the street from the bar that I went to. This place is called the Beaufort Bistro, and my first discovery of that was last year. Like, I want to say it was October, November, like during that time in the fall when it's starting to get really dark, that I was kind of exploring a little bit more in Rosemount than I thought I would have. And it was actually the same night that I first discovered Il de Galles, a great microbrewery that's on Beaufort Street East, almost like around Christophe Colomb Avenue, that they make a lot of stuff on their own. If you want to see a little showcase, I'm putting a card in the top right corner for you to watch, because I did do an episode back in April when I was on like spring vacation. That's a great spot, and again, I probably mentioned before, but I'll say it once more. Il de Galles is my favorite bar all around Rosemont now, and I've been to a lot of them around the area, so that says something. This is something I've actually passed by a few walks on Plaza Saint-Hubert, and I know I checked it out last year to see what it was like. It was amazing. It got some, a small selection of beers, decent cocktails, a nice wine list, but also they had a really good beef tartare that I had, because the trick with that is that usually if you go to a restaurant, they're going to ask if you want it with salad or fries. This one, for the price you pay, actually gives you both of them together, so you do get some vitamins in addition to your fries, so that's already pretty awesome. And if you want to know what I'm drinking right now, it's actually I'm going to just show the logo from me here. The Boreal IPA du Nord-Est. Yep, that was one of the reasons I wanted to come here too, because I want to show off one of my favorite beers. So, cheers to pre-supper beverages. Good stuff. I like the coffee here too, because I've had it with a friend, come here on my own, had the meal there and then had a coffee, but also I did bring my two stooges over the summer where we did a little bit of a wander, because they've seen a few of the places I've explored on my channel, and then kind of wanted to see it in person. We're walking along here, starting to walk up here, and then one of my buddies is saying, wait, is this Plaza Saint-Hubert? Because he hadn't been here in a while, but he kind of recognized it. And then the beauty is that he wanted to get some of the draft IPA du Nord-Est, because he doesn't get draft as much. He just figured take advantage while we're here. So it's a good beverage to take while I'm waiting to decide what I'm going to eat. I have something in mind, but we'll see.
From the dark end of the street to the bright side of the road, we've been lovers.
Well, today I decided I was going to be a little bit experimental, but for good reason. So after talking to my server about what was on the menu and seeing what I wanted to get, as was pointed out, the beef tartare, salmon tartare you get all the time, so I didn't want to go for something I usually get. I've shown the picture before, but I decided to get an octopus what's it called again? Sorry, I'm going to have to check my phone to see what the hell I'm getting. Medaglioni. So it looks like it's a kind of a Italian pasta with a bit of a ground leek, ground octopus in a white wine sauce with a bit of cream and some saffron. So it looks really good. It's not quite the whole octopus, but I'll take what I could get. So you can't really say I'm not getting adventurous on my channel. As I get older, I get more experimental with my food. Now, if you're wondering why I got the octopus, it's because there was one time I was sitting out here. I was on the terrace like shortly before my vacation, came and I had a lobster roll or a shrimp roll for myself, and because I wanted to get something else, I was talking to my server there, asked, it's a bit debate between this or this, so I go for the shrimp roll, posted a picture on Instagram talking about it, saying how much I enjoyed it, and then next thing I know, the server actually just came to me with a shooter. It was actually with some Jameson, and he told me in English afterwards, thanks for the good review. So what I didn't know is that the server I had was actually the owner of the spot, who told me a little bit about their dishes, said that their octopus is a specialty, and I figured that this is a good way to kind of get into the octopus, because the whole octopus, everywhere I go, if you wanted to get that, it's a pricey dish, and especially for one person, that feels like it's something you would split with someone else. Now, we're going to do a taste test on camera to see what it's like. Okay, it's a very nice blend of flavors. So the leek gives it a different kind of a taste, and there's a lot of saffron in here, so I am definitely grateful for that. Because saffron, of all the spice you can get on the market, that one is always expensive to get. I love it. So there you go. Something brand new on camera, but it's not my first time with octopus. And I think, yeah, I remember this. It was 2018 and I was at the San Miguel Mercado in Madrid, Spain. And I was going over there to check some of the tapas. There was a really good seafood one that I would visit before going to Cava Baja. That's the street that has a whole bunch of tapas bars that are kind of awesome to check out. So if ever you're going to Madrid, go to Cava Baja, thank me later. Anyways, I was picking out a random one. I don't remember what the translation was. I was trying it on camera saying, I don't know what it's like, what it is, but it looks like it's really good and it tasted good. But then I went back in, I did see the sign afterwards, I thought, oh wait, I just ate octopus without realizing it. And I thought, this is not bad at all. And the way they did it here is really tender, very flavorful. Because I almost feel like octopus is a little bit like if you're doing squid or calamari. When it's cooked right, it's tender and juicy. Cook it too much, you're basically going to be chewing on shoe rubber. And if I wanted to chew on shoe rubber, I could do that at home with all my old pair of shoes. Yeah, very droll. Well, no complaints here because this is an amazing meal, something brand new, something that's outside of my usual comfort zone. At least my on-camera comfort zone. This was something I would definitely do on my own if I wasn't recording. Well, gotta say once again, that was an amazing meal. Octopus in the pasta, I never thought it would work, but it does work amazingly, especially with the blend of spice. I guess the saffron, the cream sauce, the wine sauce, and it's just amazing. So I'm probably gonna be doing one coffee before I hit the road. I might want to hit up one more spot before I call it a night and just wrap up the episode, because there's one not too far from here I want to check out. Just a question of, do I have the energy in me? Which I probably do because it's Saturday night after all, but we'll see. Oh yeah, and I guess to follow up on my little shooter story from earlier, you know, if I'm coming out and about, I'm not necessarily coming here for free stuff, like I'm an influencer trying to think like I'm promoting you, you gotta give me stuff for free. I was just grateful that even if it was a simple shooter of Jameson, that, you know, someone appreciates me in my comments, I just do it for the heck of it. Merci beaucoup. And lo and behold, I do have my coffee right over here. One allongé with a bit of milk on the side, just in case I want to dilute it. But yeah, I'm not one of those guys that wants to get free stuff because of this. I do these videos because I like to explore, I like to tell stories, and people who don't necessarily travel with me, they'll be able to watch my videos and feel like they're traveling at the same time. So, an allongé. I probably talked about this before, but it's simple. You can get your single espresso, or you can do a double shot of espresso, but you could also do your single espresso short or tall. Tall basically means you get a little bit of extra water in it, and if you do a double espresso tall, then that means it's double espresso with double the water, so I'm guessing that the equivalent is going to be around 4 shots. But that's just going by memory, so I could be wrong. All I know is that this stuff is amazing. It's great to give yourself a booster, and when I was here with one of my friends back in April, the coffee here was pretty nice. But again, nice, cozy, quiet atmosphere. And yes, it's quiet right now because I am here at around 5 p.m. So the lunch rush, what am I saying? The supper rush is going to be taking place a little bit later on. But I don't mind coming to a slightly empty restaurant. It means it's a bit more quiet and easy for me to talk and not get too much of a noise in the background. So I'll finish this coffee and we'll see what we're doing. There. So that was a really good supper, beer, coffee, so cannot complain at all. This is my 4th time at this place and I love it. Once again, if you're ever around the Plaza Saint-Hubert area, I highly recommend checking it out. Now, It's getting kind of dark, but it is relatively early in the day, so I still have enough room for one more brew. So I think I know where I'm gonna go, because I remember looking this up about areas within Villeray, and I knew this is something that completely screams Wandering Ukie. So let's get on to this. Well, my last stop around here is going to be the best one, because I remember reading up about this place on Instagram, and I thought there's something about this that just screams this is the Wandering Ukie style. It's called Le Record, and it's also on Saint-Hubert Street, so I felt like I just had to do a little walk from my last joint to check this one out. In case you haven't heard about it, let me give you the rundown. This place looks like it's a record bar, so you got a whole bunch of vinyl records on the wall, a lot of old style music, like they're advertising, they play music from the 1940s to the present, so you got a whole bunch of styles, and it's got a really nice vibe, really dim, cozy, good beers, and also a sick Scotch selection from what I can see on the wall. It's the first time I've seen anything like this in Montreal, because the only place I've really experienced this, I want to say, was in Florence, Italy, when I was over at the Move On bar, somewhere close to the Duomo. And what that was is the main floor was a bar that you could sit down to have a drink, like grab a pint. And then if you go to the second floor, you can find some other records, like it's a vinyl shop, you can buy some stuff. And I have a very vivid memory of looking around the section and finding, of all things, Van de Graaff Generator, which, yeah, if you're not really much into progressive rock, you wouldn't even know what the hell that is. Just know that it's not a style for everybody. But the record I did find was the record Pawn Hearts, which was actually a #1 vinyl when it was released in 1972 in Italy, so it felt like it was right that you would find that secondhand in a store like that. And again, I thought something like that was cool. I just didn't think I'd find something like this here in Montreal, and I'm digging it. It's like old boogie-woogie music that's playing right now. They're gonna have a DJ coming up very soon, and we'll see what it's like. But you're probably wondering what kind of beer I'm having. I'm going for something different from my usual IPAs. It's a brown ale that's called, what's it called again? St. Charles, and it's from La Souche. I haven't really done much from La Souche on the channel. Like the last times I probably did it was, I would say 2021, when I was doing some cooking at home during the pandemic, and I got the Creole Loup, which is their double New England IPA that had a cryogenically frozen wolf on the can. So it made me think of the Duran Duran song, Hungry Like the Wolf. Felt very appropriate to be stylish and then, you know, having a good beer at home. But first time for everything. So cheers to vinyl records over here in Montreal. Yeah, very nice. And if you know a thing or two about browns, you know that they're smooth. They have a bit of a nutty flavor, but they're very awesome. Definitely easier to drink than certain stouts that have coffee, chocolate flavor if you're not a fan of those. And especially if they're imperial stouts, which could be 8, 9, even 11%. Those could be strong. This one's all right. Really nice. Now, I was looking around to see if I could find some other paraphernalia around here, and I'm getting some flashbacks. Well, further into the front of the bar is a gramophone, which I haven't actually operated one myself, but you probably see it in cartoons, TV shows, even video games. So, oh, hang on, I'm just gonna adjust this. Yeah, I was afraid I was gonna be crooked like a Batman villain again. But a gramophone, What you do with that is that you put your record right on top of the player, but instead of letting it play automatically, you have to operate it with a crank so that it's going to be playing at the proper speed, and it's going to play properly depending on whether or not you know which speed to play it at. This is probably before the days of 33 1/3 rotations per minute, or RPM, or 45 minutes per RPM, which became standard for LPs and singles respectively. I also saw like a nice cabinet here for vinyls, and another corner has one of those turntables that was integrated in some kind of a table. This one seems like it's a bit more simple, but I know that both my grandparents used to have something like that back in the old days. I think my Dida and my Baba on my dad's side of the family had one of those that it was like a pretty elaborate table. You had the vinyl player right in the center, and then right on the sides was all the speakers. Oh, and you also could store wine in there too, because you got to have wine when you're having the record played. But there was another one that my grandmother, my babcha, had as well. It didn't have the wine rack there, but it did have the speakers. It did have the vinyl player integrated in that. And I know that if I want to access it, I would have to open up on the top to be able to get to it. Yeah, once again, it's bringing back some memories. I didn't think a place like this one even exists in Montreal again. Oh yeah, one other spot that I noticed, the mirrors look like they're round, but they have the quarter lines around it, almost like it's the grooves of a record. I guess that's also the logo of the bar, so I guess they're kind of playing into the whole theme of it. It's pretty nice. And what also is pretty nice is that I learned afterwards, looking this up, this brown beer is only 3.5%, so it's a very light one, but also has a lot of flavor, and it's really good. Because you know the thing that's tricky about beers, if you have a very light percentage, it kind of risks losing the flavor, and it's going to taste like water. Some stuff like this, nano IPAs that are hoppy enough, or even session IPAs, they're still going to be amazing. Which means that once I'm done this, I might be able to do one final round before I hit the road. It's just a question of which one. Well, I've got a picture of Lionel Richie staring at me right now. I guess he's trying to ask, hello, is it me you're looking for? How about fuck no? Yeah, I just had to use a bad joke. So I had to do a final round over here because I was looking at the menu and I saw there was one that looks like it's a house beer that's made by the bar itself, but also a brewer that I'm somewhat familiar with, Le Record de La Soif, and it's called My Heart Will Go Son. Yeah, for all you Celine Dion fans who are a fan of sour beers, you might want to try this one. But I got La Soif because I looked at the brewer and it's actually located in Saint-Hubert, the city, which is where basically I'm from. And the fact that I'm on Saint-Hubert Street means that it's kind of appropriate. So hometown, Saint-Hubert Street, and something kind of different. Let's see what this one's like. So cheers to the final round. And, okay, not bad. Light, kind of fruity flavor. I don't usually go for these unless with, butcher my words for a second. I don't go for these unless I'm with a bunch of friends that like sour beers, but on occasion I like to try it out, just so they can get an idea of any new ones to do. Yeah, so overall I have to say I'm pretty impressed. The musical vibe has been pretty mellow so far with like 1940s jazz, old rock and roll, R&B, but I feel like you could play anything here. Like if I really want to, you know, stir up a storm, I could probably start Frank Zappa, Captain Beefheart. Heaven forbid I could do Gigi Allen if I really want to go kind of weird. Yeah, don't look up Gigi Allen on Google, and it's not worth it. Anyways, this has been a nice little trip along Plaza Saint-Hubert Street, and great explorations. So everyone, thanks for watching this latest edition of the Wandering Ukie Cheese Café. So, if you like what you see, just be sure to hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my wander, storytelling, antics, and musical references. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, leave in the comment section. I'll see what I could do. Till then, take care and happy mid-October. Mid-October. Hard to believe we're already at that point. Didn't 2023 just start not that long ago? Crazy.
Well, look like I'm going again. I can't seem to believe myself. Here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go again. Listen to me now. It's 5 o'clock a.m. But the party still going strong. There's a conversation over in the corner. Big cats all on the lawn. And the FM music is grooving. Folks getting down in their stocking feet. Sleepy eyes are peeping from the window across the street. And it looks like daylight gonna catch me up again. Gonna catch me up again. Most people are getting up when I